right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, Remax Elite Realty, Real Estate Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings here just hit the market. 17013 Aspen Meadows Drive in Lutz. Beautiful opportunity to get into a home here. It's a great buying opportunity. You got 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, over 5,000 square feet of living space, heated space, and it's listed at $579. Just reduced that one. And we also have a unique property listed in Lutz at Beeman Dew Loop. It's $1.335 million. It's going to be hitting the market either today or next couple of days, waiting on the professional picks from Judson Brady, our expert for real estate photographer, to come in. And what a great opportunity there. We're just hitting the market with that one. So you're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show. We've got John Gillane of Mountain West in studio talking about the IRAs, self-directed IRAs. Aaron Fodeman, Tampa Bay Magazine. We're going to come back in a moment there. And also our financial solutions attorney, Pete Carratt, in studio. So, Aaron, let's touch on that topic here. It's kind of looming out there. It's kind of a sad week for the Tampa Bay market with the owner of the Buccaneers passing away, Malcolm Glazer. And we were sharing some conversations in the green room prior to the show. What do you want to talk about there?
Well, again, first of all, I think he was so highly underrated for what he did, and that he's truly a visionary. And when he came in and bought the Buccaneers from the Culver House estate, a lot of people questioned what type of owner he should be, whether he should be an owner, what the team would do with him as the owner. And I think historically now that you look, you can say that he was incredibly good for the team, for the Tampa Bay area. His sons have become active members of the community. They have supported so many different community events, charities. They've made Tampa Bay part of what it is. And that, unfortunately, being a owner such as he, it's much like being a politician. No matter what you do, there's a certain number of people that will always think they could have done it better, differently, and there will always be discussions about that. But you have to remember, the buck stopped at him,
right?
And that's a different buck.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the paycheck buck, right?
Yes, and he made some very difficult decisions, but in the long run, it appears as though he was a brilliant owner, and that you can't measure the success or failure of a team simply by their wins or losses. Mm-hmm. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a team has been incredibly successful, and that they will, in fact, miss Malcolm very, very much. But fortunately, he's had his family in place where I think it'll be a seamless turnover, and that we will continue on to have many more years of Glazer ownership and have the team become even more successful than it's been so far.
Sure, yeah, the legacy is going to live on, and he's got the pieces in place. It looks like we, just in general, we feel like we've got a good, nucleus of players, and the team's coming back. One of my friends as well, Mike Jenkins, former USF football player, just joined the team. I've heard, Lovey's really impressed with what he's doing, and we're real excited about the Bucs' upcoming season here. And just want to remind you, you're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show. This is Brandon Rhymes, Remax Elite Realty. In studio today, we've got John Gillane, Mountain West IRA, Aaron Fodeman, Tampa Bay Magazine, and attorney Pete Carratt, our financial solutions attorney. And we were talking about it just in general speaking. We live in the 12th largest media market. There's so many accolades that are coming to the Tampa Bay market. We just hosted Bollywood, a large Indian film festival. We hosted the Republican National Convention. All these big events. Our infrastructure is strong. The economy is strong. There's no state tax. What a great place to live, work, and play.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
So for the first 5 listeners who text in, one of the most important things you can do is ascertain your home's value. Market's going to move up, down, left, and right. We need to let you know what is your home worth. So for the first 5 listeners who text in, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a free appraisal on your home. So text the word value to 813-917-1894. Now, that's our consumer advocacy hotline. You can text any other real estate-related questions, financial questions to 813-917-1894. And, Aaron, we have an offer that we're going to extend to our listeners as well, a great offer.
Yes, we're happy to give any of your listeners a complimentary 3-year subscription to the magazine. All you have to do is call our office at 727-791-4800 and tell them you're calling from the Brandon Rhymes Show, and they will take your information and we will put you on our mailing list.
Excellent. Thanks for doing that. Again, that phone number, call direct for that free 3-year subscription to Tampa Bay Magazine, the premier magazine in Florida and the Southeast here as well, is 727-791-4800. And in case you missed that, you can call. You can always reach us out at our website, realestateradiotampa.com, or our consumer advocacy hotline. So, great content and more from Aaron when we come back. So, Attorney Pete Carratt, our financial solutions attorney, kind of shifting gears here. We're gonna talk to Attorney Pete Carratt here. And Pete, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks for having me back.
Hey, my pleasure. And looking at the market, there's still some people. There's some underwater homes out there. I saw some studies that were just out, and there's still, I think it was 18 million households, something along those lines, that are still underwater. This economy is still not on all 4 legs again. We look at the Fed with the quantitative easing, and they are cutting the tapering process. I think we're down to $45 billion a month now, down from $85 billion just a few short months ago. So the economy's coming back, but what are you seeing out there?
Well, you say the economy's coming back, but I still see people that are being laid off, and that's always going to happen in whatever economy that we're having at this point, at some point. But what I'm starting to see are people losing hours at work.
Right.
And regardless of whatever, legislation's in place, that's starting to happen. And that's one of the things that and with that happening, people's wages are being reduced.
Right.
So, and that's one of the top 3 things that I see when people come, or at least call or come in to see me, is, loss of wages, divorce is a big one.
Yep.
Or medical bills.
Right.
Just when people get ill, insurance, either they don't have it or it doesn't cover it all. It's a big problem.
Yeah, it's Attorney Pete Carratt. His office is at 3019 West Azeel, kind of at the corner there of MacDill, right here in South Tampa. And so, Pete, so when people come in and they have these types of debts, it's each person has a different situation. There's different underlying reasons for it, and different asset structures. What's your thought process when you talk to these folks?
Like you're right. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. Whether you have you've built up credit card debt, or you've taken loans out, or, you're underwater on a house, or you're behind on your mortgage, whatever the case. I urge people to call me, set up a free consultation with me. Mm-hmm. All my consultations are free.
Yep.
And, we'll sit down, we'll look at the full picture, and we'll create a personalized strategy for you to either eliminate or at least try to reduce debt, be it through bankruptcy, debt settlement, debt consolidation, whatever the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's Attorney Pete Carratt. His website is bkrptlaw.com, bkrptlaw.com. You can also find his information as one of our preferred partners on a link at realestateradiotampa.com. And he mentioned his consultations are free, so that's something that we want to urge you to do, is reach out. And even if it's not for you, here's the thing. Maybe you have a family member or a friend who's kind of down and out, and you know it from an outsider looking in. A lot of times, if you're in that position, you can't really see it yourself. So if you're a good friend or a family member of someone else, why don't you reach out for them? And reach out and allow them the opportunity to be released from that burden. And we also have an offer. Pete's going to offer 10% off his standard attorney's fees for the first 5 listeners who reached out. So this is Financial Solutions Attorney Pete Carratt. Text the word debt to 813-917-1894. That's our consumer advocacy hotline. Text any of your real estate, mortgage, finance, debt planning related questions. And for this particular offer, text the word debt, and you're going to get 10% off of your standard attorney's fees. And that's 813-917-1894. So what else are you seeing out there, Pete?
Getting back to a point that you made about, what was it, 18 million households are underwater, meaning you owe more on your homes than what they're worth.
Right.
In the bankruptcy process, one of the things that you're allowed to do when you file a Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, and we can get into the details of those later, but you're able to strip a second mortgage or a equity line, basically, off of a home if it meets certain criteria. Obviously, you have to have an appraisal done, but the key to it is the appraisal needs to come back valuing the home less than what is just owed on the first mortgage alone.
Right.
And you're able to actually strip that second lien off the property.
Question on that point now, is the homeowner able to pick the appraiser, or do they have to go through an appraisal management company, kind of like a mortgage company does now?
You can pick an appraiser as long as they're certified within the state
and
they know their area.
That's great.
But that's limited to your homestead now.
Right.
You can't do it.
Homestead properties, not a second home or an investment.
Right.
It's more of the homestead type properties. And something else to talk about. Every Thursday we have these initial jobless claims that come out. Now this is on the national level, and it typically comes in around 322,000 people, 340,000 people that are hitting that. They're going to get a government check for the first time. So we have that economy out there and the economy in between your own ears. So we want to give you the tools that necessary to help you live a better life. RealEstateRadioTampa.com is a resource for you, and it's an opportunity to see our professional partners. You can hear past shows, and you can reach out. So you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Brandon Rhymes, RE/MAX Elite Realty, coming into our last segment here, and we're going to get a recap from each of these professionals that we had in, and we're going to get their nuggets of advice. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, RealEstateRadioTampa.com.